My grandmother is from Ireland. She was a war bride in 1942. She came to the United States, and she taught me that there but before the grace of God go I. And I just feel like I've been blessed. I can give, so I do.
Well, I was brought up to believe that part of what we're here for is to help people who are in need and need help. And we've got a lot of those type of folks in Kentucky as well as the United States, and we need to step up.
You shall love your neighbor as yourself. It's a timeless notion at the heart of every world culture. And it is also extraordinarily timely, because these are extraordinary times. We are suffering through the worst global economic crisis since the Great Depression. Many of our neighbors across Kentucky are struggling. Some have recently lost their jobs. Others are working non-stop just to make ends meet. I'm Secretary Jonathan Miller of the Finance and Administration Cabinet. I'm proud to be serving as chairman of this year's Kentucky Employees Charitable Campaign because our work has never been more important and it's never been more necessary. This year's KECC is working hand in hand with the governor's statewide economic recovery effort called Kentucky at Work. Our theme is Compassion at Work, serving our neighbors in need. It is our opportunity, indeed our responsibility, as state employees to reach out to our neighbors who are less fortunate. While some of us may be struggling ourselves, there has never been a more important time to help our neighbors in need. Whether it is donating money to one of the 6 outstanding charities within the KECC family, or donating time with volunteer service, no act of compassion is too small.
This KECC organization and the way it works, it is so beneficial to so many people around the state. We have 6 approved charities, and those charities reach over 1,000 different agencies that touch people every day.
A lot of people will say, someone you know may need this one day. Believe it or not, someone you know is using this.
One way to give back to the community is my 1% to KECC to help those in need.
Together we can ease the challenges facing individuals and families in our communities. I'm joined today by one of our fellow state employees, Al Perkins. He would like to share with you his family's experience with the KECC charities.
My story has to do with my son, Nick, who was born in 1978, and around 1979 we were made aware of the fact that Nick had cerebral palsy. And we didn't know whether to turn left or right, and certainly didn't even realize what cerebral palsy was or how to treat it. But because of the involvement of the many doctors and nurses and therapists with Nick's care, we were put in touch with organizations like the United Cerebral Palsy, the Bluegrass, that work with situations like Nick's. And they put us on the right track to getting Nick's developmental disability issues squared away. Back in 1982, Nick was the Franklin County United Way poster child, and during that year he worked also with the state effort, which is the equivalent of today's KECC, raising money for many organizations that this KECC effort funds. It's really difficult to say how far along Nick could have come without that early intervention and that assistance. Without a doubt, he would have grown up and matured and still gone to school, but I'm confident it put him years and years ahead, developmentally, physically, and emotionally and educationally. Thanks to KECC and the many organizations they fund, Nick's doing great. Our story has a very happy ending. He's graduated from Kentucky State University, and like many other graduates, he's seeking employment. But he had time to come by and be with us today.
Thanks, Dad, and thanks, KECC.
Leadership comes in many forms and ways. That leadership can be a small amount of money, or it can be all the way to the 1% leadership, which is all the KECC can hope for. Thank you.
I urge you to support our KECC charities, and please be generous. While there has never been a more difficult time in recent years to ask state employees to reach into their own pockets, our neighbors' need has never been so significant. Your donation helps to feed the hungry, protect and educate our children, and care for those in crisis of health or home. Our support for these organizations builds a stronger, better Kentucky for ourselves and for our future. Together, we can make this KECC campaign the strongest ever in the midst of our state's greatest need. Together, we can remind our neighbors that this Commonwealth is built on and sustained by the compassion of all of us.